Demolition Man, 1993 sci-fi action film starring Sylvester Stallone.
At the end of a century, ravaged by violence, a society of perfect order will arise. Demolition Man.
Greetings, fiends. Marco Brambia's Demolition Man from 1993, starring Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, Sandra Bullock, and Rob Schneider, is one of my favorite sci-fi films of the 1990s. More accurately, it is a sci-fi action film, a subgenre that became very popular during that decade, with other 90s films like Event Horizon, Hardware, Total Recall, The Fifth Element, The Matrix, and more. In these films, hand-to-hand combat, futuristic car chases, and stuff blowing up were always baked into the plots.
Time for something new and improved!
Oh, hell.
And while Demolition Man had all of these trappings and more, I think the prescient nature of Peter Lenkov and Robert Renault's story really makes this film stand out. Demolition Man plot. Frozen in 1996, Simon Phoenix, a convicted crime lord, is revived for a parole hearing well into the 21st century. Revived into a society free from crime, Phoenix resumes his murderous rampage, and no one can stop him. John Spartan, the police officer who captured Phoenix in 1996, has also been cryogenically frozen, this time for a crime he did not commit. In 2032, the former cities of Los Angeles, San Diego, and Santa Barbara have merged into peaceful utopian San Angeles. Unable to stop him with their nonviolent solutions, the police release Spartan to help recapture Phoenix. Now, after 36 years, Spartan has to adapt himself to the future society he has no knowledge about. That tidy little description misses a few key points. The main one being that this, quote, peaceful utopian future, unquote, is actually a dysfunctional dystopia with a growing underground resistance movement boiling to the surface and threatening to explode at any moment. This is a woke authoritarian reality where wrong speak is illegal, men have essentially been emasculated, the act of sex has been largely abandoned, firearms only exist in museums, and the two main characters from the past, one good and one bad, are both aliens in an insane world that barely maintains a veneer of civilization. It is interesting to note that Sandra Bullock's character, Officer Huxley, get it, Huxley, specifically calls out a series of deadly pandemics as the reason why people no longer shake hands in 2032 or even have sex. That is pretty crazy stuff, right? I mean, it's already 2024 and I don't see any... Oh, wait.
Anything not good for you is bad, hence illegal. Alcohol, caffeine, contact sports, meat.
Are you shitting me?
John Spartan, you are fined 1 credit for a violation of the verbal morality statute.
Before I get arrested for wrong speak, let's dive right into the 10 things you probably didn't know about Demolition Man. Number 1. Kansas before Oz. Fred Decker did uncredited rewrites on the script. When he was brought on, the script began in the future and Spartan was introduced when he was brought out of suspended animation. Decker suggested that this movie open with a prologue set in 1996 to showcase Spartan and Phoenix in their natural environment, saying that, quote, if you don't show Kansas, Oz isn't really all that special, unquote. 2. Stallone frozen with fear. Sylvester Stallone described the cryogenic freezing scene as, quote, probably the worst 5 hours I've ever had on movie sets. I was terrified, unquote. It is understandable considering that the sense of claustrophobia must have been greatly intensified during the filming of this scene. 3. Wesley Snipes too fast for his own good. Wesley Snipes' kicks and punches sometimes look lurchy and awkward in the film. Snipes is an accomplished black belt in real life, and his kicks and punches were so fast that they blurred on camera. Hence, the producers asked him to slow them down. 4. Dennis Rodman, inspired by Simon. Wesley Snipes hated his blonde dye job and shaved his head as soon as filming was complete. After the movie's release, professional NBA player Dennis Rodman began dyeing his hair different colors, a look that was inspired by Simon Phoenix. 5. Almost Jackie Chan. Sylvester Stallone wanted Simon Phoenix to be played by Jackie Chan. Chan declined the offer since Asian audiences give negative feedback on the idea of action stars from either Hong Kong or Hollywood who have always played heroes all of a sudden become typecasted as villains. 6. The Three Shells. According to screenwriter Daniel Waters, the inspiration for The Three Shells came about when he was writing a scene where Spartan has to use a restroom. He was trying to come up with a futuristic thing you'd find in there. He was having trouble, so he called a buddy, another screenwriter across town, and asked him if he had any ideas. Coincidentally enough, that person was in the bathroom when he answered the phone, looked around his bathroom and said, quote, "I have a bag of seashells on the toilet as a decoration," unquote. Waters said, quote, "Okay, I'll make something out of that," unquote. 7. Stallone talks three seashells. Sylvester Stallone has stated in interviews that he has no idea how the seashells work either, but suggested the idea behind the three seashells was that two could be used like chopsticks or to clamp together to pull waste out of the body, and the third was used to scrape what was left over. No explanation was made about how they were to be cleaned or sanitized between uses. Oh, God. 8. Rob Schneider on Speed. During filming, Rob Schneider became friends with Sandra Bullock, but had reservations about her next project, some bus movie that he didn't think would take off. Speed, from 1994, was one of the next year's most critically and financially successful movies. 9. Hungary wants their plot back. Hungarian science fiction writer István Nemir says that most of Demolition Man is based on his novel Holtak Harka, or Fight of the Dead, published in 1986. In the novel, a terrorist and a counter-terrorism soldier are cryogenically frozen, then awakened in the 22nd century to find violence has been purged from society. Nemir claimed that a committee proved that 75% of Demolition Man is identical to his book, and that he knows the person allegedly responsible for illegally selling his idea to the filmmakers. But he chose not to sue because it would have been too expensive for him to hire a lawyer and fight against major Hollywood forces in the United States. 10. Let Leary rant.
I'm the enemy because I like to think. I like to read. I'm into freedom of speech and freedom of choice.
Dennis Leary's part was rewritten after he was cast as the eagerly and rebellious resistance leader Edgar Friendly. The writers Daniel Waters, Robert Renaud, and Peter Lenkoff all wanted to hear the Leary rant, which is fortunately what you get in Demolition Man. I hope you enjoyed this look at Demolition Man. As always, please like and subscribe. Thank you.